When Americans are angry, they turn to guns. Every single time. We've been trying to tell you that for years, for over 20 years, because children have been unalived in their places of learning over and over and over again by hurt individuals. So it has happened to CEOs of the worst corporations in this country. It has happened to our president. Now it's happened to Charlie Kirk. Now it's happened to a political figure, which tells us something important about our culture. The internet and media have made it so the political space has expanded drastically. And in light of this, so have feelings about and surrounding politics. They've expanded, they've grown, and they've gotten serious to the point where people are so distraught and angered by their political emotions that they have resorted to pew-pewing people. And I can't act like I don't understand that. I can't act as though that feeling and that result is not expected when the talking points of these social media figures have led to a culture based around hating individuals who look like me. We are seeing a drastic resurgence of marginalization and dehumanization taking commonplace in America. In our social institutions, places that were supposed to feel safe are now politicized in a way that hurts brown, black, and LGBTQ communities. What do you expect to happen? Charlie Kirk has been one of the biggest vessels in communicating this hatred. And now we're seeing a symptom of a deeper problem manifesting in the violence that was perpetuated against him. People are angry and afraid, and they don't like the direction that this country is going. And they don't know what to do about it. Blame the root problem. Blame the fascist culture that is taking over this country, that is making every other country look at us like we are crazy. Are you seeing it now? Are you understanding that something is wrong?
I don't have a lot of empathy for the man who said, and I quote, "I think it's worth it. I think it's worth the cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights." I don't have a lot of empathy for that man. Clearly, he was okay with this. And even still, I'm not going to have a ton of empathy for the man who spent his entire life, including his last moments on earth, being openly misogynistic, transphobic, racist, anti-immigrant, xenophobic. The list goes on and on and on. No, he doesn't have my sympathies or empathies. Now, of course, I don't wish this on anybody, not even him. Of course, I feel horrific for his family, who is likely devastated by this loss, obviously, because I'm a human being who has some care and empathy in me. I don't want this to happen to anybody, especially the victims of the over 300 mass shootings we've had in the United States this year, not including the school shooting that happened today, not this event, a different one that wounded 3 people. This is going to stay in the news cycle way longer than any of those other acts of violence out there. We're going to talk about him and the grief and how this is enough and how bad we feel for him and his family way longer than we've ever talked about any of the other victims. We're going to spend our time and energy focusing on somebody who would not shed a tear for anybody else. Not only would he not shed a tear, he says, well, that's the price to pay. If that's the price to pay, I hate to say it, he paid it. You want me to cry? He was okay with this. This is a very sad day for his family. I hope they find healing like everybody else who has ever been impacted by gun violence. But we're not going to forget the kind of man that this man was just because he's another victim in a long line of victims. Clearly, by his own admission, he's okay with victims being victims if it means we get to have a Second Amendment. And that's that.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. So guys, since Charlie Kirk was unalive in Utah University, we have been seeing majority of people, they have been coming out sharing their reaction. We have seen others also, they have gone to an extent of celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. And also, we have been seeing also others, they have been crying for losing Charlie Kirk. In today's video, we are going to see the reaction from Black Americans. They have come out and shared their honest and unfiltered opinion towards the death of Charlie Kirk. So kindly guys, watch this till the end, then I'll be back with more comment. All credits goes to the original creator of the video. I'm your host, Dash Lifestyle. Remember, this video it is only for educational purpose.
Hey y'all, so they killed Charlie Kirk. Okay, so I usually talk about things from a spiritual point of view, and so there's two types of exposure. There's the true exposure coming from the spirit, and then there's fake exposure. Now the true exposure is all these things that are going to be coming out over time and being released, and people finding out the truth, who really did what, and all the little people are going to all fall in place of what's happening. That's happening little by little with spirit. Fake exposure is what these people have been doing and deceiving their people. Now, let's talk about who had motive to do this to him. Okay? For one thing, Charlie Kirk was at least 6-7 years promising, along with a lot of other people, that they wanted to expose those people that were on that Epstein file. And then all of a sudden, he turned cold on them. And he decided that he don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm not going to talk about it. This is the last day. After just saying, I want to see the files. Well, it doesn't work like that when you've been one of the big mouths in a gang, because that's what you're heading. You're one of the leaders of a gang, okay? And you cannot, ask any gang leader, you cannot, be in the gang and then just decide, oh, I don't want to have anything to do with it anymore. Well, I'm not going to talk about it. It don't fucking go like that, baby. It don't go like that. That's not working. And as you can see, it hasn't worked. But he's not going to be the last one. I told you last week, they are going to off each other. They are going to off each other. They only like Donald Trump. Okay? They only like him. And it's going to get worse. They only like Donald Trump. Everybody else that has turned coat is going to see their day when it comes to those people that they've been dealing with. Because they don't know who they've been dealing with. They have released the Krakens. Okay? So now you deal with the people that you've hyped up all these years. You deal with them because they're out there. I'm telling my people, stay in the house, stay safe, and stay out of this mess that they have going on. It doesn't have anything to do with us. Eat your popcorn, drink your water, and watch this shit show, honey, because it's going down. And I'm reminding you that Spirit told me at the beginning of the month that he don't need no bombs to end this shit show. Okay? One by one, they're going down. Stay in the house.
Ironically, the last thing that Charlie Kirk said before somebody had made an attempt on his life was talking about gang violence. I don't even know why he's talking about gang violence in Utah. Okay? He was at Utah. He was in Utah. And you have to really watch the things that you say. Because the thing is that the person who pew-pewed him wasn't a gang member. It wasn't an ethnic Black American. It was somebody who was in his same racial group. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. You know what you did to our community. You know what you continue to do to our community. But if you want to sit up here like Charlie Kirk and say all types of things that are not true, or twisting narratives and statistics to make yourselves feel better about you as a community, you're going to get shown certain things. And unfortunately, this was shown in such a violent way. This didn't happen. No, this wasn't a person of color. This wasn't a Black American who's different from a person of color. This was somebody like him. That's who did the violence. Look in the mirror and work on your own violence and leave us alone.
I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage.
There's a lot of people being policed based off of how they show empathy or the lack thereof when it comes to Charlie Kirk. And I believe there's a lot of videos and things this man has said that's echoing in folks' heads. Probably debating with the devil right now. Him, Ronald Reagan, George Bush. Yeah, they having a debate of hell. Oh, shit. Now they saying they don't know who shot Charlie Kirk. And the person they had allegedly, he didn't do it. So now we're waiting on the details to see who did this to Charlie Kirk and why did they do it. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Trump administration spins this, as well as how it becomes de-racialized if it's you know who. And if it ain't, it's going to be really interesting to see all of the racial pathology and politics at play. We all watching now and seeing what's happening. Still crazy political violence going on in this country, and I blame Trump. I blame them for all the climate they didn't cause to make it where individuals want to pull out their little things and shoot them. Especially when we start talking about, hey, man, preventative gun laws could have maybe prevented this man's life. But y'all say we don't need that because criminals don't break the law. Criminals don't care about the law. But y'all don't feel away with anything else. Man, we waiting on these updates for Trump. I'm waiting on those updates with Charlie Kirk. Shit, crazy.
I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that
does a lot of damage, but
I'm supposed to have empathy for a motherfucker that doesn't believe in it. I'm supposed to have empathy for a person that demonized my people, a person who watched a black man get his neck kneeled down for 9 minutes. He had a daughter. But do you know what that man said about that man after he was deceased? And I'm supposed to have some empathy? You're telling me that my morals are compromised because I don't have empathy for a man who doesn't view me as an equal human being to him? A man that does not have sympathy for children being mowed down in schools, a man that does not have any sympathy for the women that are losing their reproductive health care and are set to lose more of their reproductive health care. This man literally said that he would force his daughter to have her rapist child, and I'm supposed to have some empathy that this man got taken out while spewing some more hateful rhetoric. Seriously? You can be against gun violence, right? You can acknowledge that no human being deserves to have their life taken away. Nobody does. But at the same time, stop telling people who are affected by the rhetoric that these people spew and individuals, because now that a lot of people who are saying that you should have some empathy, now there's finally somebody that looks like them that has been a victim of this. I've been having to watch my people get killed on camera as long as I can remember. Stop telling us to have empathy for a person that does not have empathy for us. That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
America, you have a serious apathy issue. Aside from the obvious gun control issue, which is apparent to anybody with a set of eyes, the selective apathy is actually what makes my stomach churn. Because what the fuck do you mean there will be people today mourning the death of Charlie Kirk, who was a man who did not believe in gun control, died at the hands of a gun whilst ironically talking about how he didn't believe in gun control. But that same level of mourning, outrage, empathy will not be applied to kids within your own country or to people that your government has indirectly and directly killed at the hands of guns. At the same time as Charlie Kirk getting shot today, kids in a school in your own country were shot. At the same time as Charlie Kirk getting shot today, Palestinian people, including children, were shot using funds and arms that your government gave to a dictatorial, genocidal government. But Charlie Kirk will be the focus today. Charlie Kirk will be the martyr. If you can hold space in your soul to identify that Charlie Kirk should not have died at the hands of a gun, but that same emotion cannot be given to children in your own schooling systems and people in Palestine who directly die at the hands of Israel using your guns, I don't know what the fuck to say to you anymore. You don't get to choose the victim. You don't get to choose the innocent life that is lost. Either innocent people should not die at the hands of guns, or they should. It's not an either or.
Well, there you have it. Charlie Kirk has passed away at the age of 32. I thought he was going to make it. I really did. But now that he is gone, the only people I feel bad about is his 2 little girls. Everybody else, I really don't have any empathy for, but his 2 baby girls are going to grow up without a father. And that is the only thing I care about. Now, Charlie Kirk is about to be a martyr. And if the person that did take his life is on the left side, all hell is about to break loose. So what I'm going to say, anybody that is an influencer on the left, if you got something, hold that bitch tight, okay? Watch your surroundings and keep your head on a swivel, because if you don't, we already know that side is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and they will not think twice. And Charlie Kirk was an influencer. He was a major influencer for the right. So that's all I got.
I'm sorry to say, but we just received word that Charlie Kirk has died. I think I'm still coming to grips.
Lock in, fuck niggas. We need to talk about this. The first thing I want to say is that I do condemn the events that happened to Charlie Kirk, and I feel terrible for his family. He just recently had a baby. Now, before people say some things that are crazy and doesn't make any sense, I do want to say that I blame Utah for this. If we actually look at Utah's gun laws, it is terrible. In Utah, you don't need permits to carry a weapon. They have loose background checks. There is no mandate to ban weapons on college campus. Not to mention the thousands of signatures that was signed to not allow Charlie Kirk to have his event in Utah. And despite not listening to that, despite not having strict gun laws, y'all allow him to have an event outside a public event where he was open for this to happen. You mean to tell me there was no safety precautions for this event? This is a state that gets an 11 out of 100 for gun law strength. They are also above average when it comes to gun violence. And despite knowing all of this, we're still gonna sit here and say that we don't have a gun issue?
Well, Charlie Kirk was just shot in the neck, and a lot of y'all are saying you don't condone violence. This is the same person that is spewing and upholding violent rhetoric against us. Maybe you're not seeing what's going on in Nepal right now, or what just happened to Jakarta, because no one has ever gotten their liberation through peaceful means. Violence has always been the way to liberation, and you don't condone violence against a racist white supremacist that's condoning violence against us? So it's okay for him to do it, but not us. Are we really feeling mercy for Charlie Kirk, the same person that cheered on this type of violence against Palestinians and also said a couple deaths here and there as long as we can have the Second Amendment are okay? Additionally, for anyone being mad about political violence against one person, while there's millions of indigenous people being unalived under the guise of democracy, this type of pacifism is what allows for it to continue. Given we've been so far removed and oppressed that we don't know what real revolution and liberation looks like, so when we see it, we actually stand up for the colonizer. Oh, and by the way, Netanyahu just came out and said that he's praying for Charlie Kirk. So pick a side. You either stand with the oppressors or you stand with the oppressed. You don't get to do both.
Now, I want to make this abundantly clear so that there's no room for confusion. It is perfectly fine not to feel sad for or empathize with somebody who would even spit on you if you were on fire. Now, choosing not to mourn, cry, feel bad for somebody does not automatically mean that you're celebrating their death. Like, there is a huge difference between celebrating and indifference. Now, I'm not about to have a party, buy balloons, and set off fireworks because Charlie Kirk got shot, because that's just not who I am. But at the same time, I'm not going to feel bad about it, and that's valid. And refusing to extend sympathy to somebody who spends his entire life tearing on the dignity of others is not cruelty, it's honesty. And I don't feel like anybody who has that opinion should feel attacked or shamed. Now, it is possible to acknowledge a death without pretending that that person suddenly becomes worthy of the compassion they refuse to give others. And you know, with me being a Black woman in America, he said that the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. And he was also one of the loudest voices that spoke out against reproductive rights. So why would I pretend to mourn somebody who actively sought out to take away my dignity, my humanity, and my rights? So no, I'm not celebrating his death, and I don't think anybody else should, but at the same time, I don't think anybody else should feel forced to feel sad about it either.
Boy, y'all got the nerve to really be sitting here wanting somebody to feel bad for Charlie Kirk. I say free Palestine. Y'all want to tell me to save that for tomorrow? Like it ain't hundreds of people dying last week, yesterday, today, and going to die tomorrow? So basically you putting Charlie Kirk's life over all of them people. Man, fuck y'all. For real, no, hell no. His last words, he blaming gang violence for shit and got shot by a white man. He had no condolences for all the people dying from innocent gun violence. He don't care about what happens in school shootings. He don't care about what happened in Palestine. He never gave a fuck. Watch it out, man. Nah, all that little fake virtue signaling, be the bigger person shit is why we're here today. All them gotta go.
Nah, don't forget now. Charlie went and told y'all. This is an unfortunate sacrifice. Charlie Kirk went and told you that it was an unfortunate sacrifice that would need to be made to protect the Second Amendment. Things like this would have to happen. A citizen getting popped in broad daylight would have to happen. As unfortunate as it is, it was an unfortunate sacrifice that must be made to uphold the Second Amendment. Charlie Kirk fought for that. He worked hard for this. He worked real hard. He advocated for a fascistic regime, preached nonsensical race junk science that has been debunked for over 100 years. He hated the LGBTQIA community, an active TERF who didn't want women to have body autonomy and reproductive rights. He was a known Islamophobe, a white Christian nationalist, a man who he himself went on record on his little TV show and said he hated empathy. He thought it caused a lot of problems. Mr. Kirk worked real hard for this, and he knocked on hate's door all of his professional life. And the funny thing is, if you knock on hate's door long enough, hate will finally answer. And it answered him.
Charlie Kirk died in America for expressing his freedom of speech. What the fuck is going on? After seeing that video, it wasn't much hope, but damn! Is this what we're doing in 2025? Just killing people? That girl just got killed on that subway, stabbed in the neck. What's wrong with y'all niggas killing niggas in the neck? I'm dead ass sitting here about to tear the fuck up, bro. I got a daughter. Imagine if wasn't his family at the rally? They saw his parent, you gotta excuse me, gang. They saw their parent die. I wanted to watch Charlie Kirk when he came here to A&M, and I simply just didn't have the time. That man by himself started so much of a movement. He's inspired so many people, myself included, to speak about politics. And he got killed for it. You can't tell me there's any other reason. It's not like people that agreed with him killed him. People are talking about gun rights and gun laws. The gun didn't kill Charlie. The person killed Charlie. Take that person and throw him under the damn jail. To Charlie's family, I'm still sending multiple prayers. I am so sorry something so tragic happened to y'all. Seeing that video genuinely is upsetting my stomach. Like, what the fuck, bro?
How do you feel about Charlie Kirk death? Look, Charlie Kirk was not the best guy. He had terrible views. He justified genocide. We don't agree with the guy. However, you don't defeat ideas through bullets. You defeat ideas through ideas. Political violence is never justified anywhere, especially in America. But it is justified everywhere outside of America when America supports it, like the bombing recently in Doha, Qatar.
If you are one of these people out here celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, you are a sick individual. I hated Charlie Kirk. I did not agree with what he stood for. But in no world would I have wished death upon him, bro. His wife and daughters were present. They saw him die right in front of their eyes. That is not something anyone should have to go through. Now, I will say, it is kind of ironic that he advocated for guns and thought everyone should have a gun. And then what does he die to?
A gun. I mean,
I don't really have much of an opinion on that. Y'all can tell me what you think about that. But it's definitely ironic, I must say. Listen, I definitely get people's hatred for him. I understand where you come from and why you dislike him. But even his main op, Dean Withers, was crying for him for his death. That should say a lot. Even Dean showed remorse for his family and him, saying that he did not deserve to die for politics. Like, nobody deserves to be killed for politics. He did not actually do anything wrong. He just believed in crazy shit. I must say, it was crazy. But getting shot for it is something different, bro. This is not Adolf Hitler we're talking about. We're talking about a man with a wife and kids who was just shot on a campus with multiple students watching.
I don't feel bad that Charlie Kirk died. I feel bad that his life was taken. Do you agree or disagree? Somebody just commented that on my last video, and it really reminded me of a comment I saw in a post on Twitter. This is the same post where I learned that Charlie Kirk died from his gun wound and that the injuries were fatal. This commenter said, Charlie Kirk died for exactly what he believed in. I had to sit back and think about that because it is true. Charlie Kirk advocated for the gun laws that ultimately led to his demise. And I think this leads into a larger conversation about being very cognizant and empathetic when you are forming your political and social opinions. Because seeing that Newsweek article with the headline, Charlie Kirk says gun deaths are unfortunately worth it to keep the Second Amendment, but then seeing him die by a gun death in an open carry state is him being forcibly placed into somebody else's shoes, and they eventually became his own. In any scenario where he's talking about gun deaths, gun violence, the Second Amendment, it is a very clear lack of empathy. And, pause. Didn't he say that empathy was a weakness? I'm pretty sure he said empathy was a weakness. So I feel like we can see this same parallel in situations where we're talking about immigration, where we're talking about racism, where we're talking about police brutality, where we can very confidently speak on issues with the person being affected by that issue as an other until we are forcibly put into their shoes and then we don't like it. And hopefully nobody has to be put into the other person's shoes because none of those situations are good, positive, or desirable. But this is just a reminder to mind what you say, to mind what you think, and to shape your perspective around somebody else's experience other than just your own. Because ultimately, it will make a difference for not just you, but the people around you, your community, and the world at large. Again, thoughts and prayers to Charlie Kirk's family. This is a very unfortunate situation, very tragic, shouldn't have happened. I condemn the violence, but this is something important to talk about. I just made an entire video about this, and TikTok is very clearly blocking it, but I don't care because I want you to answer this question. It's important. When it comes to controversial public figures or people who you think are morally bankrupt in your political opinion, do you think that when a tragedy happens to them, it's important to be sympathetic and wish them well and hope they get better? Or do you think it's okay to carry on your current opinions, state the way you feel about them, say that they wouldn't be sympathetic to this issue if they were on the other side, and just carry on as usual? Because my entire feed for the past 30 minutes has been about Charlie Kirk getting shot, and then I went on Twitter and I saw the video of Charlie Kirk getting shot. And yes, it is a very tragic situation, but what I also want to draw attention to is the way that people are responding in the comment sections of all the videos posting about Charlie Kirk getting shot. The population in the comments is pretty much split. One half is saying, hey, we hope Charlie gets better. Regardless of what he said or done, he doesn't deserve to be shot and killed like that. Other side is saying, no. Charlie was very cavalier and dismissive towards anything that had to do with school shootings or that had to do with shootings in general, and said that sacrifices would have to be made if we want to keep our Second Amendment, and that casualties would be a result of that. And a lot of those comments are not sympathetic in any way, shape, or form. And this is the same mentality we see with people who are waiting for our 47th president to pass away and are saying things like, I'm waiting for the day I get that news headline and that notification. So my question to you is, do you think it's okay to state how you would feel regardless, and that the tragedy doesn't really change what that person has said or done in the past, especially in an arguably ironic situation like this where Charlie Kirk is an advocate for guns and he may lose his life to a gun? Or do you think that it's more important to be sympathetic and just view them on a human level, regardless of what their actions were outside of that? And I also want to say that I am not wishing Charlie harm or any type of pain. I hope that he recovers. I saw the video. If you've seen the video, you know what I mean. I just hope that he gets better, because nobody deserves to get shot like that.
So guys, before we continue watching, I want to read some of the shocking comment that some of the people that have come out and share in the comment section. So this one is saying that the fact that we act like political violence is new shows how much we ignore Black American experience. Yeah, so we know that Charlie Kirk, he was shot dead in Utah University, and because Charlie Kirk was a white man, so they have gone to an extent of the government also to flag the American flag halfway, just to show the respect towards Charlie Kirk. But you can see whatever Black people they have been going through, for a Black person they cannot do that. They cannot lower flag halfway just to give a respect to a Black person who has come out and died. So this one is to tell you that America, it is not giving people, it is not equal. America, it is not equal. So some are being sidelined and others, they are being given more opportunity and more respect. So kindly guys, let us continue, then I'll be back with more comment.
So Charlie Kirk just died 7 minutes ago. He was confirmed dead. Didn't like the guy. I don't disrespect the dead though. I thought the nigga was honestly was going to survive. It was one shot. It was one shot right here. I thought the nigga was going to survive. I ain't gonna lie. I hope that aside, prayers out to his family. I hope the shooter's not Black. Y'all just killed the Hokage of the fucking... I pray that the shooter's not Black. We have been through enough.
Y'all showing empathy to Charlie Kirk? I just want to know, y'all showing empathy because that is somebody's daddy, that's somebody's son, that's somebody's uncle, that's somebody's brother. But he kind of went out the same way that, he advocated for. He said people had to go so the Second Amendment right would be, be good, So then he also said empathy is what's killing the world basically today, is having empathy. So I'm just, do you guys have empathy? Because it seems like he went out the same way he said it was okay for other people to go out. And that's why you got to be careful about what you say when you say how you say it. Now, I'm going to say I don't, I feel sorry for his wife and his kids. His wrong does not reflect on their wrong. But to go in front of a crowd of people is crazy. That's crazy, to go in front of everybody. Sorry, it's all over the internet. That is a crazy way, because I think about his kids. That's a moment that his kids, like, they're gonna get to. I hate it, but they're gonna be able to see exactly how their daddy went out. But what does that mean? Is that gonna start? Is that gonna spiral up something else? I mean, like, you just never know. Is that gonna change pew pew violence. We don't know. We don't know.
He be saying some crazy. He be saying some crazy shit, right? Holy shit! What the fuck? Don't watch, okay, bet. He got assassinated. Shit. Alright, chat.
Damn. If you can't go to Utah with your racism, where can you go? They talking about some critical condition, bitch. Did we see the same video? That man is in hell playing spades with Satan and Mustache Man right now. At first, I was having a little bit of an internal battle with myself because I was like, damn. While I cannot stand his funny face looking ass, he does have a daughter who's gonna have to grow up without him now. But then I quickly thought about all of the kids who got up for school one morning, got dressed, ate breakfast, said goodbye to their parents before stepping onto the school bus or getting dropped off to school. And that was the last time they were ever seen alive. All because some sicko got to walk into that school with an AR-15 and make his bad day or his bad life their problem. Now today, a man who was so outspoken on protecting the Second Amendment right and believed that it was normal for people to walk around with AR-15s and everyone should have the right to do it, got necked. In Utah of all places. I don't know. Seems like a necessary evil to me.
First, I want to send my condolences to the family of Charlie Kirk. But I'm not just really crying over what happened to him, even though that shit was really, really sad. I like Charlie Kirk. I didn't agree with everything that he did or said, but he never did anything but speak. He didn't hurt anybody. He didn't do anything that would have caused him to deserve that. I'm crying because I don't recognize this country anymore. I don't recognize the people. The last 4 years has really did a number on the citizens of this country. We have let so many people in, we don't even know who is who. Somebody who used to be a Democrat, and I'm not saying all Democrats is like this, but y'all are some of the most evil people I have ever seen in my life. For you all to automatically get on here and laugh. There are literally people that you guys stand with who have done horrible things behind the scenes. Horrible things. And they haven't even suffered a day of the consequences. Haven't suffered the consequences yet. People who could go out and express themselves and be free to speak and say what a lot of us are thinking and just stand up for something other than the narrative that's being pushed. They're the ones that end up losing their lives. He didn't deserve that. And I heard that they didn't, I guess the guy who they said they arrested was not the person who pulled the trigger. So that means that the person is still out there. This is what we mean when we say guns don't kill people. Stupid motherfuckers with guns kill people.
So we do got an update on Charlie Kirk, and unfortunately, he did not make it. Charlie Kirk has passed away. Like I said before, love or hate the guy. He probably said some things that rub people the wrong way, but words is words. He shouldn't have been unalive like that. Then you got to go into what is really going on. I seen the video. They were talking about, the big T words and shit like that. And then all of a sudden, pow! The video is highly graphic. I cannot show it. But just seeing it, you knew that he was not going to make it. And this is what I really want to get into, y'all. So the person I showed on my last video on this situation, he was not the shooter. So why did they grab him up, handcuff his legs and his hand, pull him to the vehicle, just to come to find out that he wasn't the shooter? Shit don't make sense. I am hearing he got hit with a high-powered rifle. And y'all, this is weird. Somebody let me know if this is true. This allegedly was a tweet by him in 2014. Did I just get shot by an AR-15? Feels like it. Like I said, I don't know if it's true. Somebody let me know in the comments. So you gotta ask the question, was Charlie targeted because what he represented, what he talked about, or was this orchestrated randomly? This also make you think, if you're a political figure or someone that just carries a lot of weight, that talks about a lot of shit, and you're in public a lot, you need to be careful. I say that to say this. Kamala Harris is on a book tour. Donald Trump took away her Secret Service rights. So if I was her, I would be extra careful because shit like this is happening and nobody know why.
So guys, I hope you have watched that video and you have seen how black people, they have come out and share their opinion and how they have come out and react towards the death of Charlie Kirk and how things they are going on in America right now. We have seen majority of them, they have been complaining. There's been shooting in like 47 schools, but how comes so many people they are so concerned about this one for Charlie Kirk? We have been seeing a lot of people that have been dying. We have been seeing a lot of gun violence, a lot of mass shooting in America. But why are these people not talking about that? Why are they concentrating with this one of Charlie Kirk? So majority of black people, they feel like America, they are sidelining them. If it was for a black person, they wanted a flag, American flag, halfway just to show respect. But because he's a white man, so they have gone to an extent of flagging the American flag halfway just to give a respect. And majority of people, they were saying that Charlie Kirk, he was like spreading a racist. He was like a racist person. Majority of people that have come out and say that Charlie Kirk, he was saying that majority of the gun violence, majority of the mass shooting which it is happening in America, it is all because of the black folks. So Charlie Kirk, he didn't have sympathy or empathy towards black people, and that's why you can see whatever the black people that are coming out and share. So I think this one, it is need to be a lesson for those people who live by the sword will die by the sword. So this world, whatever you are doing to others, be careful because it might come back to you, or it will come back to you. So this world, you need to treat people and also you need to treat people good, because if you don't treat them good, you have seen what now it is happening towards the Charlie Kirk. Majority of people, they are having no empathy. It is not only the black folks, also majority of the white folks also, they don't have empathy towards Charlie Kirk. So kindly guys, I want to read some of the comment here and see whatever people they have come out and say. So this one saying that they didn't bother with security because Utah is 100% MAGA country. So this one saying that when Charlie Kirk, he was in Utah University, the security, they didn't bother because they saw like they knew that this Utah University, it is for the MAGA 100%. You know guys, MAGA people, they loved Charlie Kirk. And also majority of them, they went ahead and voted for Donald Trump. So these people, they were the security of Charlie Kirk were 100%. Nothing will happen towards Charlie Kirk. So they didn't bother to maintain high security. So that's why you can see this one is saying that they didn't bother, and that's why Charlie Kirk, he was unalived. So this one is saying that as a black American, I say we keep staying out of and away from this latest murder spree. And most importantly, my brother and sister, please watch yourself and each other, because we all know they will try to make us their a scapegoat, even with the assassin not being one of us. So this one is telling black folks that we need to be very careful, because these people right now, it is like they want to make black people a scapegoat. And we all know that when Charlie Kirk was alive, majority of MAGA, majority of white folks, even the governor of Utah, he went ahead and prayed for 33 hours. Just he went ahead to pray so that the person who unalived Charlie Kirk to be found as a migrant person, as a people of the color, maybe a black person, other races than white folks. But it ended up the person who unalived Charlie Kirk, he was a white man, and also he came from the town whereby the governor of Utah, he was praying for 33 hours. Not to found a white person doing that. So luckily it was a white person, it wasn't a black person. So I wonder right now how black people, they could be treated if it was found out that it is a black person who came out and unalive Charlie Kirk. So this one saying that he was a sacrificial lamb. Remember that, stay out of this. This is not our business. Yeah, so this one is telling our fellow black person that we need to stay from this. This is not our business, and that is true. Black people, we need to stay out of this, because if we'll come out and say something, these people, they will come out and use black people as a scapegoat, and they will ended up putting all blame towards black people. So this one saying that keep your eye open, my people, and stay prayed up. This one saying that great distraction. Taco now realize the Epstein file focus America. So this one is saying that America needs now to focus and still asking for Epstein file, because whatever it is happening right now, it is like the government is creating distraction so that people, especially MAGA and Republican, can forget about Epstein file. So this one saying that he spoke his demise into existence. The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat fruits. This verse underscore the profound influence our word can have on ourselves and others. So this one saying that from the clip I have seen of Charlie, he didn't seem to care of so-called black people, so I just don't care. So this one saying that he has watched several clips of Charlie Kirk, and he came out and noticed that Charlie Kirk, he didn't care about black folks. So right now you can see he's saying that also he doesn't care. So this one is saying that Charlie Kirk had zero empathy for George Floyd and wanted his killer released. He didn't believe in empathy. Yeah. So this one saying that his last words was violence. Enough said. He lived it and spread it, then removed by it. Yeah. So this one is saying that he called his own death, not knowing his word would come back to kill him. Karma. This one saying that Trump and Republicans will blame Obama, Biden, Kamala, the entire Democrats, anything that will turn the attention from the Epstein file. Yeah, so this one saying that Charlie was negative towards us black people. He spoke of hate. He poisoned the multitude of racial group, inciting violence against black SMH somehow. So this one saying that I'll say it again, they don't care until hits home. Yeah, so right now you can see majority of white folks, they are really concerned about this Charlie Kirk death. So this one is to tell you that these people, they caring for themselves. But if it was, but we have seen some of the shooting which was going around. We have seen how black people that have been shooted, how there's been mass shooting, gun violence, but they don't care about that. So if it is happening to them, they will come out and talk. But if it is happening towards other people, they will not talk it. They will just keep quiet. So this one saying that it was professional hit by their own party, released the file Donald. Yeah, so this is saying that he taught his family his way. So this is saying that to the black lady up there crying, did you cry for the slave? Are you crying for the black death that occurred over here? Are you crying for the school shooting over here? Did she cry for the black people that got murdered in the church by Dylan Roof? Yeah, so you can see these are some of the challenges and the struggle that black people have been going through, but they never talk. But if it is happening to them, they will all come out and flag also the American flag halfway. So this is saying that the Bible say, lived by the sword, ye shall die by the sword. This was saying that it all started 2016. He came down that escalator and has been killing Americans since Trumpism 100%. Yeah, so let me just see. The orange Jabba did it as a distraction. Yeah, so this one says that is saying that the government, it has this one, it is the government, and they're doing this just to make a distraction. So kindly guys, you can also share your thoughts on the comment section. I'll be reading it in my next video. Kindly subscribe if you haven't subscribed. See you on my next one. Bye bye.